Good morning. You're listening to Senior Scene on your hometown station, 1430 WNAV. I'm Joshua Killian, social media producer with the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging Disabilities. Today, my guest is Mary Chappett, Director of the National Family Caregiver Support Programs at the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging Disabilities. Welcome back to Senior Scene, Mary.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
And the National Family Caregiver Support Program was originally established in the year 2000 under the Administration for Community Living. In a moment, we'll talk about some of the excellent support services it offers to residents. But first, let's talk about identifying as a caregiver. In your own words, who is a family caregiver and what do they do?
Well, Josh, let me give our listeners a little quiz. So, do you provide someone help with transportation or medical appointments, purchasing or organizing medications, monitoring their medical conditions, communicating with health professionals, advocating on their behalf with providers or agencies, getting in or out of their beds or chairs, or getting dressed or showered or bathing? Do you help with grocery or other shopping or housework or preparing meals? How about managing finances? If you answered yes to any of those examples, then you're a caregiver. A caregiver is a person who tends to the needs or concerns of a person with short or long-term limitations due to illnesses, injury, or disability. A family caregiver can be someone caring for a parent or a spouse, an extended family member, or even a friend or neighbor. Family caregivers play a significant role in healthcare, and they're often the only main source of valuable information about the patient.
Okay, now that we know who caregivers are and if we are one, can you tell us a bit more about the history of the National Family Caregiver Support Programs?
Sure. The National Family Caregiver Support Program was established in 2000, and it provides grants to states and territories based on their share of the population age 70 and over. And it funds a range of supports that assist family and informal caregivers to care for their loved ones at home for as long as possible. Families are the major providers of long-term care, but research has shown that caregiving exacts a heavy emotional toll for those that are providing this care. Many caregivers also work and provide care experience conflicts. Conflicts happen between their responsibilities of caregiving and between work. 22% of caregivers are assisting 2 individuals, while 8% are caring for 3 or more people. Almost half of the caregivers are over the age of 50, making them more vulnerable to decline in their own health. And 1/3 of them describe their health as poor. The National Family Caregiver Support Program offers a range of services to support family caregivers. Under this program, states provide 5 types of services: information to caregivers about available services, assistance to caregivers in obtaining these services, individual counseling, organizations of support groups and caregiver training, respite care, and supplemental services on a limited basis. These services are meant to work in conjunction with other state and community-based services so that we can provide a coordinated set of supports for family caregivers. Studies have shown that these services can reduce caregiver depression, anxiety, and stress and enable them to provide care longer, thereby avoiding or delaying the need for costly institutional care.
And I also understand that November is National Family Caregivers Month. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Sure. National Family Caregivers Month is a time that we recognize and honor family caregivers across the country. Celebrating family caregivers during National Family Caregiver Month enables us to raise awareness of family caregiver issues, to celebrate the efforts of our family caregivers, to educate family caregivers about self-identification, and to increase support for family caregivers. The Caregiver Action Network began promoting national recognition of family caregivers back in 1994. President Clinton signed the first National Family Caregiver Month presidential proclamation in 1997. And every president since has followed suit by issuing an annual proclamation recognizing and honoring family caregivers each November.
Okay, well, we've talked a bit about the National Family Caregiver Support Programs. What programs does the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities offer to family caregivers?
We have a lot of supports here, Josh. Caregiver support groups are held monthly in both our Glen Burnie and our Annapolis locations, and folks can attend either in person or virtually. Caregiver education workshops are held during the month September through June. And there's also a number of caregiver videos filmed during the pandemics that are available for viewing on our website. We regularly offer the Dementia Live experiential workshop for those who are dealing with dementia issues or those who just like to learn more about dementia. We're currently able to offer a grant for family caregivers to enroll their loved ones at either Woods Active Day Care Center or Active Day Annapolis for 12 days. When our funding for the National Family Caregiver Support Program is available, we offer respite grants and supplemental services grants to family caregivers to include those grandparents and other kin that are raising children that are not their own. Our respite care referral program maintains a registry of home care workers who have been screened and trained by the Department of Aging and Disabilities. These workers are independent contractors whose rates are generally lower than home care agency rates. And our telephone reassurance program has volunteers who make well-check calls 365 days a year to our older adults and our adults with a disability who live alone.
And if a caregiver wants to get in touch with the department or our caregiver support programs, how should they contact you?
They can reach us by giving me a call at 410-222-4339 or by emailing caregiver_support@aacounty.org.
And lastly, could you tell us what the one thing is that you'd like our listeners to take away from our talk today?
Josh, what I want our caregivers to know is that they're not alone, even though sometimes it feels that way. Many other caregivers are going through very similar situations, and by joining one or both of our caregiver support groups or attending one of our many educational programs, you'll meet other caregivers with whom you can share information and oftentimes develop new friendships and support systems.
Well, Mary, thank you so very much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Josh.
If you have any questions about today's show, or if you're interested in any of our programs, please feel free to contact the Department of Aging and Disabilities at 410-222-4257 or visit us online. We also encourage everyone to register for our Senior Activity Center programming, which can be found on our website, aacounty.org/senior-center. Please remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AACODOAD, and on our YouTube channel at Arundel Seniors. You get Senior Scene first only on 1430 WNAV. Remember to tune into full episodes on our YouTube channel at Arundel Seniors on Thursdays at 10 a.m. This has been Joshua Killian, social media producer with the Anne Arundel County Department of Age Disabilities. You're listening to Senior Scene on your hometown station, 1430 WNAV.